The Question of Fear. In the year 1608, high in the mist-covered mountains of northern Japan, there stood a forgotten dojo, where the old ways were still alive. While the world below moved toward peace under the Tokugawa shogunate, this place remained devoted to the art of the warrior's mind. Here, a young student named Ryojin trained under the legendary master Hattori Seizan. One cold morning, Seizan called Ryojin before the class. The master's voice was calm, but his eyes carried the weight of decades of battle. "Ryojin," he said, "if you face 10 enemies at once, how many can you defeat?" The boy stood tall. "All 10, master." Seizan shook his head slowly. "Wrong, you will defeat none. The moment you imagine 10 enemies, you abandon the one standing before you." The students fell silent. "Victory," the master continued, "does not come from speed or strength. It comes from presence, not from the blade in your hand, but from the stillness in your mind." Those words struck Ryojin deeply, but he did not yet understand them. He believed courage meant attacking first and hardest. What he did not yet know was that his greatest enemy was not fear on the battlefield, but fear in his own thoughts. Chapter 2. A Mind That Would Not Be Quiet. Ryojin trained harder than anyone in the dojo. His strikes were sharp, his footwork flawless. Yet every time he sparred, something went wrong. His breath shortened, his muscles stiffened. His mind raced ahead to failure before the fight had even begun. What if I fall? What if I disappoint my master? What if everyone sees my weakness? These thoughts struck him faster than any opponent. One evening, Ryojin approached Seizan as the master sat before the shrine. "Master," he asked, "why does my body fail me when my training is strong?" Seizan opened his eyes slowly. "Your body does not fail you, your mind abandons you." He handed Ryojin a wooden sword. "Strike me." Ryojin raised it but froze. "You are afraid," Seizan said. "Not of me, of the moment after the strike, of consequences, of judgment. You live in 10 futures and miss the one present." That night, Ryojin could not sleep. For the first time, he realized something painful. He was not losing battles because he was weak. He was losing because he was never truly there. Chapter 3. The Practice of Beginner's Mind. The next day, Seizan cancelled combat training. Instead, he gave the students brooms. They cleaned the dojo from sunrise to sunset. Ryojin felt angry. "I should be training, not sweeping," he thought. But then he noticed something. Seizan swept with total focus. Every movement was complete, every breath steady. It was as if the master were not cleaning a floor, but performing a sacred ritual. Later, Seizan led Ryojin to a small hall where a scroll hung on the wall. 2 words were written in bold ink. Shoshi, Beginner's Mind. A beginner, Seizan said, does not worry about winning. He worries only about learning this step, this breath, this movement. His mind is empty of fear because it is full of now. From that day on, Ryojin trained differently. When he ate, he only ate. When he walked, he only walked. When he held his sword, there was only the sword. At first, it felt unbearable. His mind fought him at every moment. But slowly, between thoughts, he began to taste something new. Silence. Chapter 4. The First Change. After weeks of this training, Ryojin entered a sparring match against an older student named Daichi. Daichi was stronger, more experienced. The old Ryojin would have panicked. But this time, something was different. When Daichi attacked, Ryojin did not think. His body moved. Not from memory, not from fear, but from awareness. He dodged, countered, flowed. When the match ended, Daichi stared at him. "You didn't fight me," he said. "You moved with me." That night, Seizan spoke to him quietly. "You have begun to understand. Presence is faster than thought. Awareness is sharper than steel." Ryojin realized something powerful. When you stop trying to win, you start seeing clearly. Chapter 5. The Journey to the Monastery. Seizan sent Ryojin away. "To the monastery of Mount Enkai," he said. "You have learned presence in motion. Now you must learn it in stillness." At the monastery, Ryojin trained not with swords, but with silence. Hours of meditation, days of simple labor, months of confronting his restless mind. One day, the head monk, Master Cohen, gave him a task. A village below this mountain is troubled by raiders. Go, not to fight, but to remain present. Ryojin walked for 3 days in silence. When he arrived, he found the raiders waiting. 5 hardened men led by a bitter former samurai named Taro. Ryojin approached them unarmed. They laughed, but then they stopped. There was something in his stillness that unsettled them. I am not here to fight, Ryojin said. I am here to remind you who you were before anger replaced honor. Taro hesitated. His hand rested on his sword, but did not draw. For the first time in years, someone was not challenging him, but seeing him. The raiders left without bloodshed. That day, Ryojin learned the deepest truth of all. Presence does not defeat enemies. It dissolves them. Chapter 6. The final test. Years later, Ryojin returned to Seizan's dojo. The master had aged. His hair was white, but his eyes still burned with clarity. You are ready, Seizan said. Not to become a better warrior, but to become a true one. They faced each other in the courtyard. Wood against steel. The old fear tried to return. Ryojin let it pass. The master attacked. Fast, precise. Ryojin responded, not with aggression, but awareness. The fight became a dance of timing and breath. When Seizan created an opening, Ryojin did not strike. He saw the trap. Seizan lowered his sword and bowed. You did not choose victory, he said. You chose wisdom. Chapter 7. The teacher who once was a student. 10 years later, Ryojin stood where Seizan once stood, before a new generation of students. A young boy asked him, Master, how do I become the greatest swordsman? Ryojin smiled. There is no greatest, he said. There is only this moment. Master this moment, and you master them all. He handed the boy a broom. Before you learn to strike, he said, learn to be present. The boy looked confused. Ryojin had once looked the same, and so the lesson continued, not through words, but through stillness. Not through violence, but through awareness. Not through domination, but through presence. The way of the warrior is not the way of destruction. It is the way of attention, of silence, of being fully alive in the only moment that exists. Now, the sword is only a tool. Presence is the real weapon. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and comment.